At one point in the 2024 NCAA, aka College Division I baseball tournament, cameras caught a pitcher at the University of Georgia named Christian Rachna, hunched over in the corner of the bullpen, with his back to the camera. The initial thought was that Rachna, who appeared moments away from entering the game in a high-stakes spot for his team, might have been throwing up due to his nerves. But once Rachna got up from his hunch, he didn't wipe his mouth off like any sane person would after blowing chunks. Rather, he wiped his hand off, which was the first red flag. Rachna then entered the game to pitch. After each time a new ball was brought into play, Rachna could be seen grabbing one of his glove's laces, red flag number 2. But he continued blowing fastballs by hitters, which should have been the third red flag, until the game ended. After fans watching the game at home compiled the camera footage of Rachna's suspicious bullpen activity and sent it to somebody important, the allegation was made that Rachna was using pine tar, which, for those who haven't played baseball, is a brown, sticky substance that's supposed to be banned for pitchers in all levels of the game because it enhances a ball's spin rate, which enhances a ball's velocity. And well, he probably was, just like a ton of pitchers do, and will continue to do. But because the game already took place, there was nothing anyone could do about it. In other words, Rachna got caught cheating, but he still got away scot-free. And that's the unfortunate secret of baseball. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. But the key is not to get caught. Or, in Rachna's case, only get caught after the fact. Although some ball players are better at this than others, this video is dedicated to those who, unlike Rachna, got caught cheating in the act, and are now forced to suffer a lifetime of ridicule through their inclusion in this video. But don't think it's just pitchers who are cheating in college baseball, because in 2023, the Atlantic Cape Community College, or ACCC team, got caught spying on their opponents in an admittedly ingenious way. An ACCC game was put on pause after an opposing player claimed that they were hearing voices coming from an ACCC player's helmet at second base. One of the umpires decided to pause the game and investigate. They ended up finding an earpiece in the player's helmet, which was presumably being used to communicate balls and strikes when there was a runner at second base. Sure enough, the umpire checked another ACCC player's helmet and found the same thing. Ultimately, it was decided that the entire team had these earpieces plugged into their helmets. While the ACCC got off with a warning in that game, their head coach took full responsibility for what happened just a few days later and resigned from the team as a result. We've got to imagine that whatever success ACCC gleaned from those earpieces was ultimately not worth it. If you want to learn some of the other innumerable insane things that have taken place on a baseball field, be sure to hit that subscribe button below this video. And while you're at it, you might as well press that bell icon so you never miss another one of our uploads. Earpieces and helmets are far from the only cheating tactic that a baseball offense has used. This century's most famous cheating scandal came from the Houston Astros 2017 MLB playoffs run, who got a little more musical with how they stole signs. Former Astros Mike Fiers set the baseball world ablaze when he revealed that the Astros were using a video camera from the center field bleachers that could discern the opposing catcher's signals through their 2017 playoffs run. Astros players and staff members could see the video feed behind the dugout, but only had a few moments to relay what pitch was coming to the hitter at the plate. So, how did they do this? They'd bang on a trash can. Generally, 1 or 2 bangs on the trash can signaled to the hitter that a breaking ball or a changeup was coming, and 0 bangs meant that they should expect a fastball. The Astros initially got away with their crafty means of cheating, and won the 2017 MLB World Series as a result. But after Fiers came clean about what his former teammates were up to with those infamous trash cans, Major League Baseball conducted a formal investigation, found out that Fiers was telling the truth, and the Astros were fined $5 million. They were also forced to forfeit their first and second round draft picks in 2020 and 2021. Plus, general manager Jeff Luhnow and manager AJ Hinch were both fired. Yet, considering that they still have 2017 World Series rings, perhaps they'd claim that their trash can music was worth it. Another team cheated their way to a World Series 3 years before the Astros. The Little League World Series, that is. The Jackie Robinson West Little League team out of suburban Chicago, Illinois, went on a Cinderella run and eventually came within 1 game of winning the 2014 Little League World Series, before losing the championship game to South Korea. Then, months after that championship game, a neighboring league from the one Jackie Robinson West claimed to be from alerted the authorities that the 2024 LLWS runner-ups had changed their district boundaries, which allowed them to recruit players from a wider area than should have been possible, without the neighboring league's approval. How did Jackie Robinson West have permission to do this, you ask? A key part of the plot was Illinois District 4 Administrator Michael Kelly. who approved and filed the boundary changes with Little League authorities before asking permission from the neighboring leagues, which is a big no-no. After all of these indiscretions came to light, and after the Jackie Robinson West team hung out with the US President Barack Obama at the White House as a result of their World Series run, the team was stripped of its 2014 US Little League title, had to vacate its Little League World Series runner-up title, and 2 coaches from the team went to court for fraud, although those charges were ultimately dropped. Although, Michael Kelly did lose his job as a result of the scandal. Be sure to leave a like on this video if you ever tried to bend the rules on a game in order to secure a win, even if it wasn't on so grand a stage as the World Series. Now, we've already told you about how pine tar is illegal for pitchers, but while hitters are technically allowed to place some on their bat's handle, and their handle only, to help them get a better grip. One MLB legend lost his grip completely when he was accused of violating this rule. On July 24, 1983, with the Kansas City Royals down to their final out against the dreaded New York Yankees future Hall of Famer, George Brett smacked a 2-run home run off a fellow future Hall of Famer, Goose Gossage, competing a 5-4 Royals comeback. Yet moments after Brett crossed home plate and started celebrating with his teammates, New York manager Billy Martin hobbled out of the Yankees' dugout and complained to the umpires that the pine tar on Brett's bat covered more than the allowable 18 inches. What came next was one of the most iconic scenes in baseball history. In response to Martin's complaint, the umpires huddled up, measured Brett's bat pine tar against the 17-inch width of home plate, and after a few moments of further deliberation, rookie umpire Tim McLennan pointed the bat at the Royals' dugout and called Brett out because of his pine tar. This caused Brett to run out of the dugout and unleash a tirade of fury that lives on in baseball lore. Yet, while Brett was technically caught in the act, the story doesn't end there. After the Kansas City Royals elected to protest the controversial call, security confiscated the bat and delivered it to MLB offices for further investigation. 4 days later, MLB upheld Kansas City's protest, overturned the on-field decision, reinstated the homer, neglected the Yankees' 4-3 win, and ordered the game replayed from the moment of the controversy, that is, after Brett crossed home plate. MLB's reasoning for the change was that the pine tar rule was meant to avoid dirtying too many baseballs, not to affect the outcome of a play or a game. In other words, they realized calling one of their league's best and most marketable players out after hitting a home run was a bad look. So less than 1 month after the incident occurred, the Royals and the Yankees replayed the end of the game from the moment of controversy, albeit without Brett, because he had been ejected as a result of his outrage. The Royals ended up winning the game without any extra controversy, and Major League Baseball changed the rule after the season ended so no more outbursts like Brett's would ever occur again. When people ask Brett about the incident now, he's able to crack a smile and even laugh a little at his remarkable tirade. But it certainly took him some time to declare it a laughing matter. Too much pine tar isn't the only way that a hitter can give themselves an illegal advantage. There's also the timeless practice of corking one's bat. A corked bat in baseball means that someone intentionally modifies their wood bat by drilling a hole into the end and filling it with a lighter, less dense material like cork. The goal of corking a bat is to make it lighter, which will increase the bat's speed and improve the hitter's timing. However, the cork also makes the bat more likely to break, which can give away this typically difficult breed of cheating to decipher. And former MLB player Chris Sabo learned this the hard way. Sabo burst onto the MLB scene in 1988, winning NL Rookie of the Year award honors. 2 years later, he helped lead the Cincinnati Reds to a World Series victory. While Sabo may have become famous for his flat-top haircut and hilarious rec-spec glasses, he'd become infamous in baseball for his skill in corking bats. Sabo, who'd been quelling bat corking allegations for years, was caught in the act when he shattered his bat on a pitch from Houston Astros ace Mike Hampton. One of the umpires grabbed the bat, called his colleague over, and handed him the bat's broken barrel. The other umpire glanced at it for a second and quickly determined that there was a giant stream of cork running through the bat's barrel, which the bat breaking had quickly exposed. Sabo, who was ejected from the game, tried to deny that the bat was his, but nobody believed him, and he was given a 7-game suspension as a result of getting caught cheating. Now, some players like Sabo prefer to conduct their baseball nefariousness with external sources, like a corked bat or pine tar, but other players prefer to bring the cheating into their bodies. You didn't think we'd do a whole video without discussing baseball's most notorious means of cheating, did you? Back in the late 1990s and early 2000s, many of baseball's biggest superstars, household names like Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Jose Canseco, and Alex Rodriguez, swelled with immense muscle and started swatting home runs with ease, seemingly overnight. For context, taking anabolic steroids, the most commonly used of which are proven to increase strength and muscle mass, or any other form of performance-enhancing drug, or PED, has been banned in MLB since 1991. Yet, the league didn't implement comprehensive PED testing until 2003, which meant it was easy for players to avoid getting caught while using. While all of the aforementioned players produced historic, season-long home run performances between 1998 and 2003, except Alex Rodriguez, who we'll return to shortly, the granddaddy of all of them was the MLB record 73 home runs Barry Bonds hit in the 2001 campaign, despite him never hitting more than 50 home runs in a season before that. While Mark McGwire had already admitted to using steroids in 1998, Bonds vehemently denied the allegations. Then came a groundbreaking 2003 federal investigation into the Bay Area Laboratory Cooperative, or BALCO, which provided supplements to several prominent major leaguers and other professional athletes. While Bonds never admitted that he knowingly took steroids from BALCO, he did reveal that he'd been given a substance made by BALCO, but that he didn't know that they were steroids. This BALCO investigation is what prompted MLB to implement much stricter PED testing in 2003, which has caused numerous superstars, such as the aforementioned Alex Rodriguez and Ryan Braun, to test positive for steroid usage and get suspended by the league as a result. While debate rages on about whether the admitted or alleged steroid users between 1994 to 2004, which is called MLB's steroid era, deserve places in the MLB Hall of Fame, none of those who came clean about juicing up, including Bonds, who's arguably the best hitter of all time, with or without steroids, have been included in the Hall of Fame. Therefore, these icons who got caught cheating will likely never be immortalized as baseball legends. And that brings us back to the golden rule of cheating in baseball. If you're going to do it, you better not get caught.